How's everything sound to you? Sound good? Don't worry what's going on over here. Okay, cool.
I mean, it's a little loud.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Newsflash, asshole! I've been hearing it the entire goddamn time!
Welcome back to the West of Waterford podcast. This is episode 20. I don't know if you consider that a milestone, but I do, and so does my co-host here, Brittany, and let's get into this, make sure everything is working there. Looks to be. All right, and we're off. Episode 20, Britt. Number 3 of the camera era.
Oh, yes, the camera era.
I could have done what I did last time and just changed the whole name formatting of the podcast based on just another format change. Because if, as you do know, when we started this a year ago, I mean, we have 25 episodes on SoundCloud.
26.
26.
25, 26.
All right, so we're trying to catch up on the YouTube end of things, and I think we're doing all right. This has been going for a year, us just doing a podcast, but I mean, this one's going 6-7 months, I think, at the most.
Yeah, a tiny bit over a year with nothing more than maybe like a month or two hiatus at any given point.
Pretty much, yeah. I think we've been fairly consistent amount of, we try at least punch one out every week, and skin of our teeth this week, we're just making the Sunday. It's been a busy week. I mean, we've had to babysit a dog who is still here, probably out on the porch right now, thinking, "Hey, they're talking about me." Trying to Dad, they took me for a walk today, boss. I don't know why he sounds like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Tell me about the rabbits, boss. I will love them. Well, that's more of a Looney Tunes.
And that's honestly just the dog from, what was the Animaniacs short with, the little cat and,
Did the dog talk?
The dog, yeah.
I don't remember that.
There's a little dog and cat, and the cat was Rita and Buttons. No,
Buttons.
Buttons, the dog that doesn't talk.
Okay, yes.
With like the little.
But if he did talk, he would look like he.
No. No. Two different dogs.
Sounds like somebody with brain damage, unfortunately. I mean, when you think about it.
No, I'm thinking of two different dogs. I said Buttons, but Buttons is like the dog that doesn't talk with a little baby girl. There's like a girl, and she's like, "Hiya, Buttons."
Oh, something. She was crazy.
Yeah, she loved
crazy. Loved pets. Little redheaded kid, Elma or something.
No. She wasn't redhead. She was
the little blonde kid. Yeah, the blue eyes.
Like, all right, love you, bye bye.
Okay, love you, bye bye.
Yeah. Okay, love you, bye bye.
Yeah,
but
I remember
her. I'm thinking of the dog that was partnered up with a cat named Rita, that was voiced and did a lot of singing, a lot of musical numbers, because it was Brenda Peterson.
No idea. Singer?
Broadway singer.
Call it a guess.
I am totally pulling, that name's not even right.
When's the last time you even watched Animaniacs, realistically speaking?
They came out with a new season here in 2020, last year.
Yeah.
2020, we never watched it. I think it's because we were too afraid.
I don't know if it was afraid. It was just, the more I thought about it.
You don't want to resurrect something sometimes.
No, it's not even that. I think it was the more I thought about it. I loved Animaniacs when I was a kid. But did I really love it as much as I loved other things like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes? Even that one I showed you before, the Tiny Toon Adventures. I think I like that more than Animaniacs. I think I like certain.
Really?
Yeah, I think I like certain.
I never liked Tiny Toons.
I think I liked certain segments of Animaniacs. Like I liked the Pinky and Brain, Pinky and the Brain segments. I liked the Good Feathers because I thought they were you know, just wise guy pigeons. That's great. Aside from that, Sandy Squirrel and her niece.
You mean Slappy Squirrel?
Slappy Squirrel, yeah. Sandy
Bernadette
Squirrel?
Peters. I said Brenda Peterson. That's kind of
All
close
right.
enough. Bernadette Peters played Rita, Rita and Runt. And that's exactly what the dog sounded like. Here's a picture of him for you to see.
Rita and Runt. Ruff. What did you call me? Runt. Uh-oh.
And he sounded just like, he's like, oh, I don't know. See, look at that face.
Yeah, oh yeah, now I remember him.
Yeah.
Rita and
Runt.
Word that sounds like another one. Boy.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, aside from that, where were we? 20
Bunt.
episodes? So, big question.
Yes, 20 episodes.
I
20
mean,
episodes.
as I said-
100 years. Or
Okay,
100 years.
So circling back, Saki style, where were we?
Saki style.
Saki style. We've been looking after a dog while trying not to have the dog kill our production assistant, Tony Cat, of course, all of you know and love.
Our producer.
But Brittany also.
I gotta make a confession on that. That's not my original idea. I know you latched onto it and thought it was cute, but that is something that ever since a channel that I really adore on YouTube called Drawfee. They actually happen to have two. This is before I knew what their cats even looked like. Their cats, they had the exact same type of cats as us, a mackerel tabby named Olive and Joy, and they called them the producers in one of the episodes, and it's been an ongoing bit that they've had for years because
Great, so nothing. Once again, we are not original.
No, I have to say.
Let me hit my completely original bell. Oh, gee, where have I heard that before?
But no, I gotta say.
Oh, wow. Let's not be original anymore. Oh, hang on, wait. I gotta make sure that's off. 1 sec.
Okay, okay. In all honesty, the bit did die out.
So original.
The bit did die out a long time ago. We've kept it more alive longer than they ever did.
So we're keeping it. We're keeping it. Okay.
But I just found that kind of funny because you latched onto it.
I did.
And
had I known what it was, I probably would have kept going with it.
Yeah.
Simply because, I mean, look,
But
if I'm not showing my influences,
yeah.
if I'm not showing my influences, I don't know what I'm doing. To be honest with you, I have no clue what I'm doing if I'm not showing my influence. I'm using everything here, and this is a big thing I actually learned. If you want to talk about reflecting on the last year, big thing I've learned.
That's what we're doing.
I guess so. But the big thing I've learned is that
everyone wants to forget the past year.
Nobody can even find that. Here's an Easter egg hunt for you, or a little hunt for you. We've mentioned the name of the old podcast multiple times. Try seek it out and just listen to how god awful everything about that show, apart from maybe some of the content here and there, but just how god awful and gaudy and spliced together it sounded. The sound got it's just it never sounded great until obviously we re-upped.
I think we had some
things.
good moments.
We had some good moments,
but I also think that we definitely had some cringy moments where we were a little raw with each other because we were having creative differences.
Well, yeah.
Our first episode.
Oh, our very first episode. I still remember the first time.
I don't remember what the first episode was.
We had the intro music, and then because I didn't know how to work the mic system at all, and I was like, "Everybody be quiet," and then like
everybody be quiet.
Yeah,
it was just the two of us.
No, I think we had Dion for that one.
No.
Oh, didn't we?
No.
Okay, so it was everybody like, just be quiet. And then out of nowhere, I mean, if you were looking in the room, you'd just see two people sitting there silently.
That was one we never posted, but we did have an episode with D before Super Show.
This is true, yeah. Super Show was the first one, and it was anything but. But I mean, if you just looked into that room at the time, you'd see two people sitting very quietly, and then me just go, "Oh yeah, gray area, Pat." Oh, I gave it away. But like I was like shouting into the mic because I just couldn't figure out what the hell was going on in my headphones. But I mean, I've learned from that now. I mean, look at this. We even have a track bed going, which is very, very unusual for a podcast. I know, but that's the radio boy in me. So
yeah, we've already talked about that.
No, we actually haven't.
We mentioned that in the last episode. Even.
We did?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Linger longer. There we go. Being original again. But how do you feel we've come along the last year, anyway? If you want to be honest.
No, there's been we're still finding our voice, and I think we kind of found something we can kind of,
Do I?
commit to. I
There
don't know.
we go.
We had some. you definitely had some ideas where it was just kind of like, I don't know what you want. Like we had not creative differences, but we just had some kind of back and forth a little bit and on what you wanted, and like you kind of were like, well, you kind of were shifting a lot of ideas of what you wanted it to be.
I was trying to find the footing of what the show would be, to be honest with you.
But I mean, we're not. I don't know.
We're not professionals.
I mean, it's you're not doing it so much right now, but like when you talk about the podcast, I can see that you're excited about it. And you're even like very confident about sharing it with people that it's something that you do and it's something that you enjoy doing. Whereas me,
I'll put an addendum in that very, very quickly. I wasn't until recently. It's only been very recently that I felt anyway confident about how this show is going.
Yeah.
To be honest. Whereas you.
Yeah. Whereas with me, even to this very moment, this podcast has been like a dirty little secret for me for the past year, and I don't know. I'm still very like insecure about it a bit. And
why do you feel that you relay a little more? I mean, what makes you feel insecure? The fact that maybe it's like people will look at you and be like, "Oh, that's not the Brittany I know."
Because, well, yes.
All right. Okay.
And I mean, it's just in the same way that like people who kind of have to be a little bit self-deprecating when they're like kind of like half like out of the side of their mouth, like I'm a YouTuber, or I'm a podcaster, or I'm an influencer. Like it's just kind of that where you're just
the
like,
only thing you're influencing is suicide and possibly abortion at this
What?
point. The only thing we never mind. You can listen to that
lost me there.
You can listen back on that on the playback.
I sure will. And
No,
I'll
you
do
won't.
like a whole like I'm Steve Madden going like, you can see here, we can look at the playback here.
All right, okay. If you're going to do a Steve Madden impression, I'm just going to
Is
say...
that even his first name?
It is, Steve Madden.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What I said, the only thing...
You can watch that on the playback.
The only thing you're influencing, I said, is suicide and abortions.
Oh.
I don't want my child to come into a world of the West of Waterford podcast.
And I say that, and yeah, but anyway, I'm in that boat where I'm just kind of like,
I don't even look at it that way.
I do a podcast.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it as quite literally, I do something I really enjoy
But that's just my
doing.
own insecurities, I guess.
I look at it. I'm doing something I love doing. It is a hobby in a lot of ways. But you know what? If there's money to be made off it or a career to be made off it, you know, why the hell not? I mean, at this point, I'm too old to really enjoy the other hobbies that I really do have. I mean, playing sports. Well, nobody plays real sports in America. Sorry, Americans, come get me. But you don't. I don't want to play baseball because I didn't grow up with it. I mean, I have tried to get into baseball. I could see getting into it as I'm older because it just seems like a great game where you sit around drunk and just be like, "Rrr," and then
Baseball?
whatever, baseball. Football
That's
is
bowling. Bowling is like the
Bowling?
lazy drunk man, fat man sport.
baseball.
Perfect
Look at
for
Babe
you.
Ruth. Babe Ruth, the greatest of all time. He was a drunken, womanizing
Yeah, but that was
degenerate.
back in the fucking like 20s
But the man was a genius.
or 30s or whatever.
Okay, still stands, is what I'm saying.
Wait.
The sports I like
Did
are...
I just age him a lot
I'm going
older
to turn
than-
everybody off with this one. Soccer, football. It's called football. Number one, it's a ball, not an egg. Number two, you play it with your feet, not throwing it. And maybe once every now and then, in the 3 minutes of game time you get to watch, kick it. I don't know why I stopped like that. I think the hamster was turning a little bit. But I mean,
I think the hamster broke off of the mount and is now and has crashed out of the cage and is rolling down the street, about to be hit by a semi truck.
but this is true. I mean,
I
like,
think that's what's
but
happening
the other
right
thing,
now.
but the other thing I'm
with
really
your hamster wheel.
the other thing I'm really into is music. But the thing is, I'm 31 years old. I'm not going to make it and be a big star these days. I'm out of practice to be good enough as a session musician. Maybe 8 years ago, I was good enough to be, considered as a session musician. It might have been okay to even pursue that path, but I didn't. So this is something I've been into since I was a kid. Like the whole broadcasting with your wonderful voice and your wonderful wife.
Oh, thank you.
I never thought my wife would be a part of it, but here we are. But yeah, no, broadcasting...
You're kind of stuck with me.
We'll see. But yeah, no, broadcasting is something that I've always wanted to do as well. I initially wanted to do television, but
You ain't got the face for it, honey. That's what you were about ready to say, but I said it for you.
Hey, look, you married me. I don't know. As you always say, I'm almost handsome.
Oh, yeah.
Almost handsome is what you always call me, I believe. Thank you.
All right, well, yeah, you're into the podcast, still very much finding our footing, still finding that rhythm.
How do you feel like it's grown?
Still finding the motivation. Oh, I mean, it wasn't until we got on YouTube that I felt like it's been very recent that I feel like, it's like SoundCloud still feel like a warm-up.
Yeah.
And a testing platform, and I kind of kept telling you that, SoundCloud is not where people listen to the podcast. It used to be maybe like some years ago, but not so much anymore. We need to be on more platforms. You need to do the part that's not so fun. Like, I know you enjoy the aspect of like doing the actual show. I know you enjoy doing all the tracking beds that you've done and doing the soundboard. Thank you, Daddy. But if you really, and it's something that like, I'm kind of like looking at you to be like, if you really want this and you really want to cultivate, if you really want to just get off the floor. If you wanted this to like go anywhere / just generate an audience, it will help me feel more motivated, I think, too.
Really?
And more confident about it.
So of all the things I already do in the background to make the show run, I have to now do more and not expect any further help. Is that what you're saying?
Look, I already told you, I'm like...
You do A, B, C, and D, but you need to do E, F, G, and H.
Why are you splitting this with me? This is your baby.
It is my baby.
You need to actually do some of the stuff that's the hustle aspect of it.
Well, you know what? We're up to 20.
And actually do some research on how do you promote your podcast.
I think we're still at 20.
And the C among all these other amateur podcasts that are everywhere, because everybody started a podcast this last year.
This is true. Yeah.
Like, everybody, and people that already have an audience before they even go into podcasting.
You know what, folks? Give us a break, because at least on this podcast, while everybody does have a podcast, this one has an angry Irishman, his exasperated wife, and a cat who produces in the corner.
That's a good way to describe it. If you listen to some of those SoundCloud episodes, you can hear I'm exasperated.
Yes, and you can always hear that I'm angry. So, we are going to move very swiftly along.
There's one more thing I was going to say, though.
All right, you go first.
Well, that's okay, I forgot.
All right, okay, cool. Well, thank you. Well, you know what? We move on now, and this is the potpourri part of the show.
We were going to talk about
there
how I mentioned a while ago that we're pretty much, we're going to reach a point where we're going to have more episodes than we do have subscribers. We're not at that point yet. We actually are.
We're going to go neck and neck.
We're neck and neck once we post this episode.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, I would like to thank everybody who has listened, everybody who has subscribed. You are true blue. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, the listener, and thank you for subscribing. So now we are going to move on with that.
I'm bashful and shy about
of course
you've been having 20 subscribers.
We are going to move on if Brittany will let me.
Okay, moving on.
All right. This is the potpourri part of the show where Brittany gets to talk about whatever the hell.
Why are you stealing my bit?
Okay.
Why are you stealing my intro? I say that.
Once again, you've said that I can say that because I say it faster and better.
No, you don't.
All
right. And I never said you could say that. I said I like saying it, and you don't even say it right.
Well, Brittany.
And you gotta say it when the music starts, like right now.
There it is.
Hello. This is the potpourri part of the program where I get to talk about whatever the hell I want. See, that's how you do it.
Is it?
That is how you do it because I invented it.
Oh, of course. All right. Brittany, do the bit.
All I can think about right now is my full bladder.
Oh my God.
All right. So this is actually kind of a Twitterology edition of Brit's Bits in a lot of ways because Twitter kind of connects a dot on all of these, especially the first two. So they are Twitter blunders, PR nightmares for some companies in the past week, past month that I have here. The first story I have titled as Cinnamon Toast Crustacean.
I heard about this.
So apparently, and I love it because the guy's last name is I have his name here, Jensen Karp.
Okay.
Jensen Karp.
This has got to be a joke then, right?
Jensen Karp, who happens to be a podcaster / comedian
Oh, wait. What kind of comedian here exactly?
I don't know, but he has some sort of internet personality.
Let me guess.
He's some sort of internet personality, and he's also married to maybe the main Topanga from Boy Meets World.
What the hell is a Topanga?
That was her name. You never watched Boy Meets World?
Not that well, maybe years ago, but I mean, I don't remember it.
Remember the boy that meets the world, that's his girlfriend?
That just makes it sound... Oh, my God.
Boy meets world, boy meets girl. Her name was Topanga.
Did he fall into orbit?
And that was actually... Yeah.
Ah!
And she actually...
You're mine now!
And her name was like a kind of a butt of the joke for the show
Topanga.
a lot, yeah.
Topanga, that sounds like a song written by Toto.
At least I don't know.
It sounds like a Toto song. Topanga, she is a beautiful girl. Topanga, I don't know.
That sounds more like fucking.
I think it's a song called Mushanga.
That sounds like a fucking Neil Diamond. What am I saying?
I don't know. We're very tired.
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Topanga. Tom Jones.
No,
really?
it sounds like a Tom Jones song that you just said.
What? What are you talking about? I don't know. Just move on. Topanga sounds like a Toto song. We'll move on with that.
Okay.
There we go.
We don't even like, we're like not even agreeing with our own like.
No, I'm
references
agreeing with my reference. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, he's married to Topanga, apparently.
Her name
Sounds
was
like
Lola.
Sounds like a knockoff game of Jenga, but anyway, go on.
Anyway, that was just I wasn't even going to mention that, but so the story is that he was enjoying himself some cinnamon toast crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Ken? Oh.
Cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, okay. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Go on.
So anyway, so he poured himself a second bowl. He had already had one bowl of the cereal.
As you do.
And he poured himself a second bowl, and he found something kind of weird in among his cereal, and it was shrimp tails.
Shrimp tails.
Yeah, shrimp tails. Like dried up shrimp tails, like crusted in cinnamon, making his cinnamon toast crunch extra crunchy.
I mean, okay, let's be honest here. If you open a bag of it, with all the cinnamon's going to hit you, don't you think at least there'd be a different smell, kind of in there? I mean,
No, probably not.
Was
at
it like fossilized shrimp tails?
I just told you, it was like dried out, and there were only two, like in a whole bag. He emptied out the whole bag at that point, and he found these dried up shrimp tails. He took a picture of it immediately.
Sure.
And then he sent it to Twitter.
Not General Mills or whatever it is?
Yeah, sorry. He posted it. He sent it to Twitter. He posted it on Twitter to General Mills, saying, oh, I would like to know what this is all about. I just found shrimp tails in my cereal. And then, like, he put in parentheses, like, this is not a bit. Because he's a podcast he's doing.
Oh my God.
Although that is what you would kind of have to question at first. You're just like, because like a lot of people can kind of play scams on that kind of situation. But anyway, so it started this horrible. This is where the Twitter blunder begins, is because of General Mills' response. So they put, "We're sorry to see what you found. We would like to report this to our quality team and replace the box. Can you please send us a DM to collect more details? Thanks."
Okay, that's fairly.
That's like a response to like.
That's fairly boilerplate.
I'm sorry that half of your cinnamon toast crunch bag was like all smushed into little tiny crumbs. Like that's kind of the equivalent to like.
It's the company line, basically.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep going. I have a kind of a little bit more details on like how like maybe companies can learn from this, because I read another article kind of like pertaining to that. Like how, like, looking at this blunder, like, how can other companies learn from this, and like, what kind of is the reason behind why they would be so poor at communicating with this customer. Anyway.
And by the way, Brittany, I haven't been entirely honest with you. I
haven't?
I know about that story, and do you want to know something very interesting about that guy?
What about it?
He was once dating Melissa Stetton.
I don't know who that is.
Melissa Stetton is a model from California who was once dating Anthony Cumia.
Oh, okay.
Anthony is 6 degrees removed from most things happening in the news right now.
Really?
Yeah. Most of the big things are coming up. He is somehow...
He's a Kevin Bacon right now.
He's Kevin Bacon right now?
You never heard of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
No. What? Like crispy? Less crispy?
No.
Medium?
No, there's... Never mind. If you don't know what that is, there's something about how like 6. You can always like think of like another movie or actor or actress, and you can always connect it 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon.
He's been in a lot. I mean, I'll say that. He has been in a lot.
And he's had a long career. Anyway. So, okay, cool.
Okay. Move on.
All right. So anyway, after further investigation with our team that closely examines the image, this is another tweet they sent out. After further investigation with our team that closely examines the image, sorry, I typed that out wrong. It appears to be an accumulation of cinnamon sugar that sometimes can occur when ingredients aren't thoroughly blended. We assure you that there's no possibility of cross-contamination with shrimp.
Well, do they make a shrimp cereal for freaks? Just psycho people who like to eat shrimp cereal. I mean, it's cereal. General Mills and most of those cereal companies, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think they're based in Battle Creek in Michigan.
Can you see why freaks love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch? We have a surprise in every box.
Okay.
You just said it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch for freaks that just want.
No, I mean, I just said, are they making a shrimp cereal for freaks?
No, clearly not.
Good.
Clearly that was not advertised on the box. Prize contained within.
No,
it's Randy's half-eaten lunch.
Okay.
He was having himself a little shrimp a shrimp and cocktail sauce for lunch. And it was one of those little to-go packages that he probably got at the gas station. He was on his lunch break. He was just throwing away the shells. He was sitting there. He was in a hurry that day. You know, he was on the assembly line still, and he just tossed those tails, and it made it into a batch of cereal. That's what happened.
You know, that's weird. That was actually going absolutely nowhere until right at the end when you said, like, oh, he just tossed the tail into the cereal mix.
What do you mean that's going nowhere?
Oh, it was going nowhere.
I was saying Randy threw some of his lunch out into the product.
I know, and it was going nowhere. I was kind of dying on a vine here until you said, oh, and then, like, threw a bit of his lunch into the cereal grain, and I was like, oh, actually, that makes sense. That could make sense.
Randy, come here, you did it again.
Damn you, Randy. Damn it, Randy.
No, it actually works, too, because, you know, after he's eating his shrimp lunch, he's having a little bit of a, you know, he's getting back to work. You get a lot of that stuff in your teeth. So he ended up starting to floss his teeth there, too. And he threw that, and that made that into another batch.
Okay, what are the gaps in Randy's teeth like if it's going to be a shrimp tail that was cut in there?
No, I'm not saying he lodged out a whole shrimp tail. I'm just saying, you know, after you have yourself a little lunch, you gotta floss those choppers.
Homer went around a whole week with a piece of food on his face.
Okay, so he
weren't small neither. It was a chicken wing.
Because I'm just telling you that because that's what I thought of. Because also reading into the story more, he got this at Costco. He got this box where everything at Costco is like surplus.
Bulk, yeah.
So bulk.
Surplus.
Bulk, surplus.
Okay, alright.
What's the fucking difference? Anyway, so he had, I don't know what's funny. Anyway, he got the box that has the 2 bags inside, like a big family pack.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did he find the shrimp tails in the first bag, but he also looked at some of the cereal pieces itself, and they're like some black specks, like almost like ingrained inside the cereal itself. So that was questionable. Then the second bag, without opening it, he could already see what looked like dental
Condoms?
floss.
Oh, dental floss.
Dental floss.
Ew.
Clearly, I was getting to that. That's why I'm kind of going along with the story that someone was enjoying their lunch on the assembly line in the factory.
Ew.
and it didn't quite make it into the trash. Instead, it fell into the cereal. That's what I'm imagining happened. Anyway.
I'm imagining you falling into the cereal. just find pieces of Brittany in cereal.
Well, some of these things have been hoaxes. Like there was that one time where that woman claimed to have found a finger like in her like Wendy's chili. It was fake. Anyway. So anyway, the Jensen tweeted back. He said, "Okay, well after further investigation with my eyes, these are cinnamon-coated shrimp tails." And he has another closer picture of him like holding them in his hand. And he's like, "You weirdos! I wasn't all that mad until you tried to gaslight me."
Oh, piss off.
Why do you hate the word gaslight? It's a real term.
I hate it. And
Why
I just
do you
hate his response.
But that is a perfect, well, he's a comedian.
Is he?
Yeah.
How come he hasn't made me
Just
laugh
as
once?
much as, probably more than you consider yourself a fucking comedian.
I don't consider myself a comedian.
Well, the news article that referred to him as a comedian and podcaster.
All right.
Anyway, yes, I kind of agree. I knew that you would find that response cringy.
Yeah.
For some reason, because you always have to go against the grain. For some reason you find.
Look at that cereal pun grain. What have we got for Johnny?
For some reason you're always on the opposite side of things. You should have found the first two posts from General Mills cringy, but now you get upset about his response.
I'm not going to be cringed at by a company putting out a boilerplate stock
answer. Yeah.
response.
But
No, I'm not going to be mad at
bullshit.
it.
But like that is
Unless I'm pissed off at a company, and that's what they do to me. That's the only time I'm going to be pissed with it.
Okay, although to be fair, like that is a perfect like use of the word gaslighting for them to like, we assure you, like there's no possible way, like trying to say like, your eyes deceive you, sir.
Well, you know what? Bite into it. Bite into it. Tell me.
If you've seen the picture, it is clearly discarded shrimp tails. Like it is so clearly that.
All right.
There's no mistaking it. And for them to just make that type of claim without actually like investigating, having seen the pieces themselves, for them to just go off that first image that he released is ridiculous. So that's why this is a nightmare, a PR nightmare. The second bag that was left unopened by the owner did appear to have what looked like dental floss in it. It is unclear if the bag was taped shut at the bottom. He couldn't really tell. But this kind of ties into it. So basically,
you know what? I'm actually looking at this picture right now. Yeah, that's.
And there's another picture of
Those
him
are
holding it in
odd.
his hand. No, there's another picture of him holding it in his hand, though. It's like very clear what it is.
Even from this distance, I can say it's odd. I mean, I'm not like a marine biologist or anything, but there is something very, very fishy about it.
Yeah.
Oof.
So yeah. Anyway.
There's something fishy about it.
Anyway, so basically, I don't have any more quotes from Twitter, from the General Mills Twitter, but they did kind of start to. So they started to, this is one last quote from them. They said, "We can say with," in another tweet, they said, "We can say with confidence that this did not occur at our facility," pleading product tampering. So not only did they first say, "We assure you that is not," though they tried to tell them what it was. Then they kind of agreed with them. They're like, "Okay, but wait a second, this didn't happen at our facility. Someone, please, if you're not gonna apparently they're trying to contact him to say, can you please send us the items so we can look at it?" And then he just, at that point, he didn't trust them anymore.
Well,
So
have you seen a picture of this guy?
And then he said, he looks fine. He looks like a normal guy.
Okay.
I mean, I saw a video of him with the interview. Anyway, so they're pleading product tampering at the moment.
Okay.
And they said, can you please actually give those products, turn those things that you found in your cereal into the local, your local police.
Your local authorities.
Yeah. No, they did.
Oh wow.
They said it to turn it over to the local police, because so that way they can look into product tampering.
You know, we got prostitution, murders, child pornography. We haven't got time to look into this kind of thing.
I think this is in LA too. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that we're in LA, We ain't got no murders, no child pornography, no gun violence. We can look into this straight away, son. Take a seat.
Why are you doing such a racial?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just I'm sorry. We watched Boys in the Hood last night. I was thinking of that the black police officer who was like this psycho racist against black people for some reason.
Okay. Let's
Also
not
a bit
talk
of Big
about
Smoke.
Racist. Yeah. Let's
Little-
not talk about racist police officers. That's too touchy. All right. So the cereal was purchased at Costco. He hasn't been able to receive any statement from Costco. And then I kind of looked into another article that was kind of talking about why, kind of focusing on like what other companies should learn about this, because had things been communicated differently, this wouldn't have turned into an issue and wouldn't have become the story it is today. It was really because of those, like it kind of starts to say, had they communicated better and then shifted the conversation over to private communication, it would have been a lot better. Had they had, because their first response was like totally like not matching like the level of how important it was. Like we can say that, like it was just like
Well, I mean,
Not
as you said,
treating-
there's been hoaxes in the past. I mean, a healthy degree of skepticism.
yes.
I mean, they got to be scratching their heads as well. Like, well, how did shrimp get into our cereal? They've really got to be scratching their heads at that moment in time. I will give them the benefit of the doubt for that. I'll be honest.
No. Having looked into it a little bit further, I do not believe that was an appropriate response. It could have been dealt with a lot better. It should have been directed privately a lot sooner.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay, that's fair. That's
This
fair.
is why multi-million-dollar companies need to have a plan in place and hire what they call top crisis communicators, and not to just leave it to social media managers because
companies
that's
are so
really-
good at
'cause
handling
that's-
crises.
and because like that's what this would be considered, and so really you're just leaving it up to like this. That was probably like an intern who like responded to that without knowing how they should respond to something like that, because that's why it sounded so. That's why for me it sounded so out of place, like it was like a poor, like it was like an inferior quality of the product rather than like, okay, there's like actually something like really horrible in your cereal, like that's awful, and then to say something like we'll replace the box for you, it just seemed like so cut and paste. It's like no thanks, like I don't think I'm like ready to like have a bite of your cereal. I kind of like got turned off from that. And he's also taking samples of the cereal and getting them tested himself, because he believes the ones that have the little black specks in them like might have been like a lot of accumulation of like rat feces or something.
Oh my god! Oh!
So that's even worse. But we all know it's
Me when opening my cereal, finding fish and rat feces. Ugh.
But we all know, it should all be common knowledge that like products are like actually allowed to have so many like rat droppings per whatever, and so many like animal and so many like insect parts
Do you know what
in their
do you know what
product. You knew that, right?
I know that, but do you know where rat droppings are probably most prevalent? In the cereal world. So stupid ones with that bear.
Honeycomb?
Or the
Honeycrisp?
honeycomb. No. What?
Honeycrisp?
what-
I know the one you're talking about.
Chocolate one.
The chocolate one.
No, yeah, not the Honeycrisp. I'm thinking, I gotta get some of that Honeycrisp.
That's what I was thinking.
No.
I think you think about that bear.
No, no. What's the other one?
I gotta go.
I was thinking the monkey. Cocoa Pops. What
That
they
was
call
not
it?
a monkey.
No, in
Cocoa Puffs?
Ireland they're a Cocoa Pop. Oh, here they're Cocoa,
Cocoa
Puff,
Puffs?
and it's got that weird. But I'm Cocoa for Cocoa Puff.
We
or
don't have
something.
it. We don't have a monkey.
No, we
have
had a monkey.
We have a bird.
We had a monkey. We had the Cocoa.
It's a bird.
We had Coco the monkey. For Rice Krispies,
I'm
which were.
sorry. Like I'm having a really hard time focusing. I have to really pee.
You do?
Really bad.
All right. Well, if that's the case, we're going to move on from Brit
No,
Spits.
I have more Brit Spits, but I just have to take a pause for the cause.
Well,
Please, I'm really sorry. Like,
We're kind of running low on time, so whatever your Brits.
Can we pause? Can
No,
we not pause?
no, we can't
I
pause.
have to pee.
Okay, go pee. So
Really
your
bad.
Brit Spits is
How about you talk about Krispy Kreme?
Krispy Kreme.
I'm sorry. I have to pee so fucking
Well, you do
bad.
have that. Okay. I'll take over here.
I'm
I'll take
sorry,
over
I have
here.
to just, like, I can't even concentrate.
This is why I tell you to pee at the start of an episode.
I have an overactive bladder.
She has an overactive bladder. Isn't that great? Didn't you all just want to know that? She has an overactive bladder. That is wonderful. Ugh. Well, don't tell me I can't carry a show on my own. Brittany does say did ask me just to move on. Apparently, she has something about this. But Krispy Kreme, they were, during the week, they were ready to offer free donuts every day this year for people who have received the COVID vaccine. It's a little strange due to clinical obesity influencing on how one's immune system might actually cope with the disease. Now, if you have a hard time of breaking that down, what that means the fatter you are, the more likely you are to die if you get COVID. And, you know, if you want to follow the science on something, let's follow the science on that. Most of the deaths that I've seen, anyway, I mean, statistically, anyway, people have either been overweight or had underlying conditions, or the numbers have been completely, you know, expanded. You know, you fall off a ladder, you had COVID, you didn't die of massive head trauma, you died from falling off a ladder. So, the idea that corporations are bribing those they believe should be doing certain things is not new. Basically, that the corporation's saying, like, you know, oh, we'll do this for you if you do this for, you know, government. Now, they never say it quite like that, do they? They really don't. They'll always say it's like, oh, it's good, it's this, it's that, it's for culture, it's for this. Shut up. We know what you're up to. I see your game. So, the way I look at it, the idea that, you know, this is just another part of woke culture. There's always a target due to the fear that they themselves might be damaged via wokeism for not being woke enough. And we have seen that happen in the past. It's not enough to be woke these days. You have to be woke to a standard, I think. And I think this is something that plays into Krispy Kreme's ideas. Especially when they do, you know, I didn't see Dunkin' Donuts jumping on the craze. That could have changed within the week. But Brittany, you had something to contribute.
Sorry, sorry to interrupt the flow there while I had to.
Well, I didn't interrupt your flow. Why would I mind you interrupting mine?
So what were you talking about? Because it sounded like you were just being a little negative, Nancy. Being
Krispy Kreme.
Little just.
They're offering donuts every day. What was it? Every week, or every day for a year for people who got the vaccine.
So that means like you can redeem like almost like as many. I think it's like. For every visit, I think it's like literally as many visits as you want.
I think you have to.
You get one donut per visit.
If you have the
whole
vaccine.
Year.
That's what the story now wasn't really that clear on it when I read it.
Okay, well I have more about it, and I think honestly, it's just my opinion.
Okay.
I think you're getting in a puff about
a puff.
I'm
getting in a puff.
I don't know. You're getting puffed up. A huff.
It's called a huff.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. You're getting all in a.
It's a puffer.
You're getting all like.
It's a puffer.
You're getting all puffed up, is what I was trying to say, in a huff.
Well, listen, people.
About something that's not really that, like.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not nothing to get. It's nothing to get all like you in here like being like talking about wokeism and
really?
Like.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You
I don't
think
know
there's
why
a slippery, glazed slope involved at all?
Not really.
The way companies that go around saying, you know, it's like blah 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 blah.
Well, I got news for you, buddy.
They're becoming more and more woke.
I don't think that has. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it has any connection to Krispy Kreme. Because there's other.
So why do you think they did it?
People are. Why do you think they're doing it?
Why do you think they did it? Yeah.
I think they're just making because that's just a lot of companies are doing that right now.
Name another.
I found one other.
All right, so you found one. That's not a lot other.
Which I didn't do a lot of research, but I was about. That was going to be one of my stories. Be on the lookout.
Well, who was the other company? Come on, let's break this down.
And a local one here in the valley, the Mint. It's called the Mint Dispensary.
The what?
It's a marijuana kitchen.
Of course it is.
Where they're giving out free edibles. So get your edible and go to Krispy Kreme and have a wonderful.
Yeah,
night.
drive your car into a family of 6 with a donut on your fucking wrist. There's the first swear of the show, I believe.
Anyway, I just don't know why you're getting. I guess what I'm trying to say is like I don't understand why you're getting so upset about it. It's not.
Well, let's put it this way.
Like, I think
what
it's
right
like
does
such
any
a
what right does any company have to say that we are going to reward people for doing something that you know, it's neither here nor there in sense of, I guess, how would you put it? We're going to reward people for doing something that they might not necessarily want to do.
Okay.
Now
well,
they're free to do that, but you are not allowed then to say, You are not allowed then to say that or demonize people for not getting the vaccine.
Let me stop you
That's
there.
what I will say. Okay.
Let me stop you there.
All right.
Because I looked further. I actually went onto their website because it was a story I was already looking into before I knew that you wanted to bring it up and have this weird slant on it. Sorry, I think it's a little weird and I think it's a bit of a stretch. Personally.
All right.
So I looked into it a bit further and it says, what if I don't want to be vaccinated? Can I still get this offer? We understand, and it actually says on their website, we understand that choosing to receive the COVID-19 vaccine is a highly personal decision. We advise all employees and guests to consult with their healthcare provider regarding whether to obtain a COVID-19 vaccination and which vaccine to receive after reviewing the available information. If you have made the personal decision to not receive the COVID vaccine, please visit us on Mondays starting March 29th through May 24th to receive a free original glazed donut and a medium brew coffee to get your week off to a good start. So
that's fair.
They are stating we realize
go.
that you are making a choice
That's fair.
to make it or not. So they
No,
are
that
actually
is fair.
still rewarding people
That
who
is
choose
fair.
not to.
And that's fair. Okay, and that must
which
have been...
I think should.
And I think that must have been updated from the time that I originally saw it.
When did you look at it?
Monday, when it first came out.
Did you look at their website? Did you look at their
I read the news
frequently
article.
asked questions?
I read the news article.
You needed to go to their website. It has
Yeah, maybe you're
all the
right. Maybe you're
frequently asked
right. You know
questions.
what? Maybe I shouldn't.
So,
I should stop
That's
trusting the
why I
news.
was trying to say stop because I looked into it further and they are not demonizing. They are not isolating. They are actually saying we realize this is a personal choice.
Brittany, we are really,
For
really
you.
behind time, so thank you.
We are really behind time. Okay, can I keep going?
No, thank you very much.
No.
We have to finish the Brits bits. I'm afraid we are out of time for it.
That wasn't Brits Bits. That was my potty break, and then we started talking about that.
I'm sorry, honey. We're out of time.
What's our time now?
We're at 46 minutes. We gotta put a pin in it. Until next time.
But I had a theme going with
Well,
this
okay.
bit.
Last point then for your Brits
Oh
bits.
well, there's no last point. I wanted to move into another Twitter blunder.
What was the other Twitter blunder? Go on.
gonna let me
I'll
talk
allow
about
it.
it?
I'll allow it. Come on.
Well,
Overtime.
The royal family has had a rough go of it lately, including the ruler of the Burger Kingdom.
Oh my
So
god.
at the beginning of March
You
on
can leave out king when you just talk about that, by the way.
what?
I said you can leave out king when you say that word, by the way.
King?
Yeah, leave out king. The burger dumb.
Oh, Burger Dumb. The Burger King UK account tweeted out on International Women's Day.
Oh yeah.
Women belong in the kitchen.
And
that's
they do.
all they put. And that's all they put in their tweet. Now.
That look. Oh, that look was. That look was bone chilling.
Because you really. I
hilarious.
do actually worry about you because I know that you claim to do this all in.
Excuse me. If you were
like,
a king, you
jokingly-
expect to have a woman in the kitchen. Maybe not the queen, but you know what? The queen will expect to have a woman in the kitchen. They need cooks. So they'll expect to have a woman,
Okay, I
a
need to-
man, and some other kind of servant in the kitchen. This is the Burger King we're talking about, right?
This is what's so okay. I find this kind of ironic because we're talking about a blunder, and it's actually as you read on, it's actually kind of like a stupid but honest mistake that didn't have bad intentions. You're just actually well, I agree with that. When I read it right there, straightforward
Oh,
and
do
everything.
I? Do
and
I?
you just
Do I agree?
And you just
Prove that I agree.
I know you don't agree, but it's just why would you even it's just you do it enough times and it's I think this guy actually is sexist.
Brittany's
and-
coming around the corner. Oh my god, she's lost it. Oh,
No, it's
better
just
luck next time, mittens.
It's just why are you taking this opportunity to talk about somebody else's mistake and then make your own mistake?
Because it's funny. What other
For you
reason?
to just I'm so glad because this is basically I'm so glad you decided not to continue on with the 50s guy because that's all your 50s guys about make me a sandwich.
Yes.
Women belong in the kitchen.
Now you've done it.
What do you think about what do you think the 50s guy would have to say about all this?
What I think, lady, is you get back in the kitchen. You make me a sandwich. Don't be heavy on the mustard now. You know, when it gets on my tie, I don't like it. I have to use that tie to wipe the pussy sweat off my woman in the office. Yes. Why do you think I keep an array of ties in my office?
Sweat?
Pussy sweat. But that's what we call it, right? This is the 50s after all. We don't really have a different name for it. But that's what I use my array of ties for. Why do you think I have my own Chinese dry cleaner? Where I bring my ties after rendezvous with my saucy minx of a secretary. Her place is in the office. Her place is on the desk. Why can't yours be in the kitchen, huh? Let's get a move on there, broad. Yes.
Thank you, 50s guy,
there's
for
literally,
ruining years of just every kind of progress you could imagine. But anyway.
I don't know why I opened that up for you, because I said I was so glad that the 50s guy has been dead for so long.
You open it like my secretary opens her legs. Now, make me a sandwich, lady. Ha.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's like, it's so...
Excuse me, I'm out here selling cars all day. Why don't you just go and make me a sandwich? As if I'm not working harder than you.
It's so bad. It's so like, make me a sandwich, make me a sandwich, make me a sandwich. I was like, okay.
Tend to the children. Make sure they're in bed by the time I
you're
get
like
home. Have an Advil ready for me, because otherwise I'm going to throw you against the door in a rage. Yes, that's what we do in the 50s. We beat our wives, love our children to an extent. Not like those Nambla
Josh,
folks.
just
What's
stop.
Nambla?
It's
Let's
just
move
bad.
away.
It's just bad, and not like, and not in the way you want it to be. It's just like actually bad.
Just evil.
No. Like, it's just like actually. Never mind.
Hey, it's the 50s. We didn't have a fully fledged sense of humor yet.
No.
We were incredibly restrictive, except when it came to our wives and our secretaries, and the children were beaten. Don't forget about that.
All right. I'm done. You're annoying me
All
with
right.
that. Okay, stop.
Give it
You're
up for the
one that
50s guy.
No, do not give it up for the 50s guy. You need to like add a little bit more dimension to that character. if you're
Excuse
gonna
me,
make
now
him
I'm getting out of
anything.
here. I'm going to the future. Listen to my magical future car.
All right, he's gone, Brittany. He's gone.
All
He
right,
can't hurt
so-
you anymore.
All right, so basically,
He's gone to the 60s.
why is that? That's not even
You
funny.
hate him so much. You just hate him so much is what's really funny to me.
I think you don't understand exactly what my hate is being supported by.
Were you married to a 50s guy? Did he beat you?
No, I'll talk to you after the show about it.
You can talk to me now about it if you like.
No, I can't find the words to express to you, and I don't want to hurt your feelings on air.
Bully, as they say in the 50s. Anyway, move on.
So,
1850s, but anyway.
So, basically, this was a kind of extension on a full-page ad that they were running in the New York Times, and the ad gives it a lot more context than the tweet that they posted. So it shows the line in large font and follows, and it looks like a very retro ad, by the way, too, which I think is actually kind of cool. It has a large font that follows with several lines that explain the idea behind Burger King Her. So the line that was in bold was, sorry, let me keep going. Why are you laughing?
Go on.
That's not even
Burger
funny.
King Her. Sorry. That's just.
So I'll keep going. Listen.
Go on.
So the line that was in bold was women belong in the kitchen. Just kind of the eye catcher, because yes,
remember
in
it.
this day and age, you're gonna be like, what? And then it would hook you into read on, like, what are they trying to say here? I can't believe they'd say that. But explain the idea behind Burger King HER, which is helping equalize restaurants. Scholarship. So it's a scholarship for including the low representation of women in chef and head chef roles across the industry. On Twitter, however, the usage of the line was quickly misconstrued. Burger King UK tweeted out just the line, "Women belong in the kitchen," on March 8th, and it was only in subsequent tweets that the intended meaning was explained.
And I remember seeing that when it first came out, and I just remember.
What, the full page ad or the tweet?
No, the tweet. I remember the tweet came out, and I just remember laughing hysterically when I saw it, because I was thinking to myself, exactly in the theme of this, what in the hell are you doing? Do you want? I mean, now they're never going to go broke, realistically. Burger King are too big, but
Yeah.
it was like, why would you put this kind of heat on yourself? This is ridiculously funny, though. I wasn't offended by it. I was laughing.
You knew it was a mistake, kind of. Like I didn't know it was kind of a mistake.
I didn't even know that was a mistake, realistically. But after I stopped laughing and picked my phone up off the ground, I read on, basically, and it was like, okay, no, that's fair. That's actually a very, very fair, valid sense of what they wanted to get to. But when you see that first line, or you just see that first tweet in the thread of tweets, and you know people out there aren't good, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm as guilty as anybody. I'm going to admit that. But when you see that first part of the thread, you're going to be like, okay, I need not read on.
No, they should have included the whole ad in the tweet. But this is what someone...
They can't do that in a tweet.
No, I know, but someone... Because I know it's only like, what? Is it still only like 250 characters?
I think it's less. If anything they can do to make context more
honestly,
difficult, anything they can do to make context more difficult they will do on Twitter.
See, I'm not. See, you're the professor on Twitter. That's why you do the Twitterology. I don't use Twitter. I've never been on Twitter.
Fair.
My guess, someone, J.S. Stansel wrote this. My guess is that Burger King UK tweet was originally conceived as the print ad on the left. You know, in context, it makes sense what he's saying.
Okay.
And forced to work as a Twitter thread on the right. Just go with what I'm saying. I'm still not crazy about the print ad, but it's a bit better. Further proof that print, and this is the thing I was trying to get, further proof that print and social require different strategies and content. So they were trying to use the print ad, which, like you said, I'm not crazy about anyway, but like you kind of get it. It's a play. It's trying to be a little tongue-in-cheek, and it's a play on like an old time. It's a play on that phrase that is obviously aged out, but that's the thing is, it's kind of just at least a shock. So it's hard these days, like, they ride that fine line of like advertising that used to shock you. I mean, think about it. For some reason in my head, I thought of the most shocking advertisement that actually worked, and I think it was like the first copy of like the National Lampoon that was like had a gun pointed at a dog's head, and it was like, buy this magazine or we'll kill this dog.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like really crazy ads like used to work on, people used to be okay with that because
It's
it was
effective.
really about grabbing people's attention.
Nobody really believed you're going to kill the dog when it comes to that.
Because they know.
But nowadays, you'd be like,
you're just
oh,
trying-
that poor puppy!
But like when you think about it, that's a very tame. And then when you read about it, you're like, that's a like. When you read about it, it's like, then you can actually it's not about playing on it. It's actually putting a new spin on the phrase women should be in the kitchen. I think it is actually a very clever idea. In a print ad, it worked. On Twitter.
Twitter, man.
On Twitter, it was devastating what they did.
Devastatingly hilarious.
Yeah,
I
like
will
it
admit.
was like I said, it was a blunder. It was a blunder on their part.
Okay. So, Britt, realistically, no, I'm sorry, Britt, we're done. We have to move
It's
on.
really awkward. I was done,
Okay.
but it's really awkward. You're like, get this over with, get this over with.
Stop that. That is really not necessary. But we do need to move on.
It's like, what the fuck, dude?
What?
Relax. Move on then. Jesus. Thanks.
I am relaxed.
You're welcome for my contribution.
Thank you. I would have thanked you, but you're trying to bend the hell out of Samson
Well,
there.
I just don't like when you're like, okay, we gotta move on.
I gotta move the show on. Sorry to be an opie, but I gotta move the show on.
All right, move the show on.
All right, so now
Piss me off.
Oh, of course it does. Everything pisses you
Jesus
off. Anyway,
Christ.
we're moving into pressing the presses, and we only actually have the one story this week because we're actually more pressed for time than I really expected at all here.
What? Stop! Just let it flow, dude. Don't like keep on saying about like fucking time.
What have
Who
I
cares?
asked you to do about when it comes to the production side of it? How about you just let me do it? Thank you. So, this
We're not
story.
like on fucking live TV where like we gotta cut for a commercial. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to end it there, buddy.
All right, yeah.
It's a podcast, dude. Relax.
Yeah, I am relaxed. You're the one who's freaking out. So we are going to move on here to a story. Actually, Britt, it was you who brought my attention to the story, and
okay.
I'm going to cut the music right there because
Thank God.
we need other music for this.
Oh, thank God.
Of course, this is the story about the idiotic father who decided to bring his daughter into the elephant habitat at the San Francisco Zoo. And pretty much as expected, the elephants were not happy. So let's look into the story. He dragged the daughter into the habitat to take pictures with the beasts, who promptly decided to get territorial. He bypassed multiple barriers to get into the exhibit, willfully and illegally, might add. And bye, elephants. There's the music. Bye, elephants. That was supposed to be on a loop, but I guess it's not.
It just waddled its way off into the horizon,
Ooh, there they're back.
into the sunset.
The elephants are back. So yeah, he was promptly.
I just think of that Simpsons episode.
He was
with Homer.
promptly chased out of the enclosure by the enraged pachyderms.
Pachyderms?
Not before dropping his daughter. He dropped his daughter allegedly. Now I haven't seen the video. We're going to look at the video here in a second.
Yeah. I have seen the video. Yeah.
And apparently nobody was hurt, but the man was arrested for suspicions of child endangerment. So that said, let's Let's take a quick look and see.
While you're pulling it up in the news segment that I saw on it, they actually mentioned the one that just happened like 2 years ago here in Arizona at the World Wildlife Zoo.
Alrighty.
With the stupid woman who crossed that barrier and got bit by a jaguar. Remember that?
I do. Here we are. What do you mean when I'm going to pull it up? I'm ready with this.
I know. I was just saying that while just to clear up.
I know. Unfortunately, this is just very, very.
Go. Come on, buddy.
Very slow.
Come on, we gotta go.
What are you doing?
Man enters elephant enclosure at San Diego Zoo. Let's go.
What are you doing? You're acting like a retard. All right. Let's see. Holy Jesus Christ.
Absolutely terrifying, frightening.
Holy.
For a father and his
yeah, he dropped the daughter.
Breaking into the elephant enclosure.
Okay, I actually thought he dropped the daughter on the other side of the fence.
No. They got out.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get a good
see that
picture.
again. Yeah, I want to see how.
I don't want fence lines in my picture. I want to be closer to the elephant.
Elephant comes out of nowhere.
Where was this again?
San Diego. The elephant.
Yeah, San Diego Zoo.
The elephant looks like he actually slows right down, as if to give him a chance to kind of get out. Look at that again, like just one last time. You can find this, of course, on YouTube. We don't have a way to screen share it with you just yet. Out of fucking nowhere, man!
Everybody's like, get the fuck out! No, yeah, the elephant's warning them for sure. That was your own separate elephant trumpet.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I'm Brandon Lewis.
Hi, Brandon.
Part of the video.
Yeah, I'm going to get Brandon Lewis off the screen here. So, suspicions of child endangerment. I mean, suspicions, really? Come on. Let's be fair. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. That is.
I just don't understand it. I mean, I get mad at people's stupidity. Like, remember that one time we went and we visited the zoo and like we saw like this. Definitely old enough. She was a teenager, but she like threw a bottle cap into one of the enclosures. And we're like,
oh, into the koalas, yeah.
Yeah.
And those cute little creatures would probably end up eating it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that really.
But it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
it really is a level of.
There are some real stupid people that walk around the zoo. Like, it's like part of the population there, like, are there because they love and respect animals and nature, and they actually are like somewhat intelligent about the topic of, you know, the purposes of zoos. And then other people are there, they're like stuck in like the fucking like in like the early like 20th century of like concept of zoos. They're like throwing popcorn and be like, we want the monkeys to dance for us, like entertain us, creatures.
I really like the fact you were doing the monkey dance there, by the way. Yeah, very good.
No, but it's true. Like, there are some people that are like still treat zoos as if it's not an educational experience. It's more about their entertainment. Entertain me.
No, that's true.
And it just like
I agree with this.
Those type of people that go to zoos are just like, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you're like, it's such an old mentality to think about animals that way when you go to the zoo and treat them that way.
Realistically, I really wanted the elephant to win there. If it wasn't for the child, I would have wanted the elephant to win. I just quite literally would have wanted, like.
That's why they shouldn't sell. Maybe they shouldn't sell alcohol. Okay, that's enough. That's making my ears bleed. Yeah, I don't know. That guy.
Stop selling alcohol. Alcohol.
Alcohol. I don't know. That guy definitely.
Alcohol does make the zoo slightly more tolerable at times, though. There's only so many times you can go to a zoo and watch the lions just lying in the sun and just going, and you're like, it's like, ooh, this is exciting. It's not exciting, and you know what? Maybe
you just go to the petting zoo and chill out with them for a long time.
With the lions?
No.
What kind of petting zoo did you have at Phoenix Zoo?
Petting zoo with goats and stuff.
Oh, right. Well, goats are kind of boring. And then they're just not really particularly interesting. Anyway, we are again going to move on very quickly and swiftly onto that.
So what was his punishment for it?
I don't know. We'll have to look back. We'll have to circle back on that one. I hope it is child endangerment, but we are going to move on to That's Entertainment.
Idiot. There's not much more to say about it. It's just idiot.
Very true. So this is the entertainment news of the week. We actually do have a couple of WoW recommendations for once.
WoW recommends.
Yes, very rare we got around to these all the time, but there's three I'd like to.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So there's three I'd like to recommend. I'm sure you'll agree. After Hours, Martin Scorsese starring Griffin Dunne, which we watched about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Incredibly funny movie.
When did it come out? 1980.
83. Who cares at this point?
Oh.
83. Yeah, it was 84, 83, I think, or was it 85? It was one of the two. Anyway, so that's one. They Live, made by
84.
John Carpenter, and I had it written here right in front of me. 85.
Oh, 85.
Yeah. After
that?
Hours, Martin Scorsese, Griffin Dunne. 1985, great film, highly recommended, exceptionally funny, bizarre, and a really, really great performance from Griffin Dunne, who you probably might know as the first victim from An American Werewolf in London. I believe he played Jack. They Live, 1988, John Carpenter, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper. We only saw that there recently. Talk about a very, how would you put it, timely movie to see, I guess. It's very apt to be watching it in this year.
Yeah, it's a fun action sci-fi, and it definitely has that 80s action to it. It's a good time. It's got
a surprisingly really great and engrossing fight, like for 6 minutes, right in the middle of it.
Yeah. Well, I think that ever since it's come out, it has that kind of like. It's been relevant ever since it's come out.
Is it relevant today? I mean,
it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's timeless. It's kind of a timeless story because, in a lot of ways,
you can juxtapose.
But it's a good time. Juxtaposition.
I'm done with that word. Jesus, I am done with that word.
Juxtapose.
Juxtapose. I was trying to say juxtaposition and juxtapose in the same word.
So you talked about, After Hours, They Live.
And the final one I would be recommending this week would be Ed Wood, which we watched recently. Tim Burton, Johnny Depp obviously starring. What I never knew about Ed Wood was what I guess you could say pioneer.
Who?
Ed Wood. He was kind of a pioneer.
It's not a real person.
What?
That's not a real thing, is it? That's not based on a real person.
Yes, Ed Wood was a real director. That was a true story.
It was? I didn't know this. I thought it was completely just fictionalized, just kind of like a homage to like movies around that time.
Hey, Brittany, who did Martin Landau play in it again?
Martin Landau?
Yeah, who did he play in it?
Who's Martin Landau? I don't know.
Were we watching the same movie?
Who's Martin Landau?
He played Dracula.
Oh yeah, but he played Bella Lugosi.
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't know what his
why
name
would
was.
he come into a? You didn't know this was true? A true story?
No.
Based on a true story, anyway.
No, I did not know that until now.
Wow.
I didn't read about the film. I just thought it was a quirky little like movie.
Ed Wood, the Citizen Kane of bad movie makers.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was real. Based on a real director.
God damn.
That makes it.
Plan 9 from Outer Space. You know, being a real movie and all, that didn't register with you at all?
I didn't know this. I don't know much about films and directors at that time. Oh, please! When did you know about this? Did you know about this before or after watching the movie and reading about it?
I've known it ever since the first time I've heard of Ed Wood.
Oh. I'm sorry, dude.
I believe it says on the box a biopic about the infamous. I think it was. I thought it was very clear. Okay.
I thought it was like a little like
mockumentary
type of a situation. Like it was it was all fictionalized.
He was real. And that whole creepy dance with that creepy organ music, and he was transvestite, cross-dressing transvestite dude.
Yeah.
Because mommy dressed him up. It was all true. And that's why at that part of the movie I was like, this is scary. This is kind of, I mean, that music was unsettling, and like, I mean, dude dressing up as a girl, a little bit.
Oh, I'm scared.
No, it's just in that kind of like really burlesque kind of way.
Okay.
And making it a bit sensitive. Look, I mean, I don't care. If you want to dress up like a girl, you do it.
You clearly have a problem
That's
with
fine.
it. That's cool.
But no, just the way it was done in the style of the movie.
I liked
Watch
it.
the movie.
It's fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
For me, it was a little off-putting, and I think the music just made it even more off-putting for me because it was like that horrific kind of like. You kind of expected like either a snake to be dancing to it or a monkey kind of doing tricks to it.
I found nothing unsettling about it. It made me smile.
All right. Well, speaking of things that make Brittany smile, Jessica
just think-
Walter
okay,
died
oh.
the other day at the age of 80. Speaking of things that make Brittany smile, of course not. Jessica Walter, of course, very well known for
She made me smile. She's a very, very funny woman.
very funny woman, and she will be missed. 80 years of age. It's kind of young, realistically. But of course, she was best known as Lucille Bluth. Jesus, Lucille Bluth in Arrested Development, which is hands down one of the funniest comedy TV shows ever to be put to screen. First three seasons, anyway.
John Wilkes, Lucille Booth.
Yes, she also murdered a president. She took a shot at Kennedy. She missed. She was the second gunman on the grassy knoll. I mean, she was also Mallory Archer in Archer, which we have to start watching again, by the way. Archer is a brilliant show, really funny. I've got a serious headache right now.
I'm sorry.
Just want to let
gave
you
it
know.
to you.
I think you gave it to me just by being, well, yeah, by being my wife. And I think that's actually going to do it for the show. Episode 20 is done.
We really put our heads together on this one.
I think we really clash heads on this one. Sorry, folks. I really, I feel bad for this. I feel bad for this one. I don't think it's that funny. I don't think it's that intelligent. I don't think it has much to say, but you know what?
And it looks like we're not putting this up then, by the way you're talking.
It's content. It's going up.
Oh my god. You know, sometimes done is better than perfect.
Yeah, this is true.
We pushed it out, our ugly little baby of episode 20.
Pushed it out your baby cannon and showed its ugly ass to the world. And
well, it's just one of those things where you didn't seem too interested about what I was talking about. I didn't seem too interested about what you were talking about, and you rushed us the whole time.
I didn't rush us. I tried to keep us within time, and we are still over time. And that is it. Thank you very much for listening. I'm not going to tell you.
Our lovely audience who are going there, thank God.
I'm not going to tell you to like, share, and subscribe this one. I'm just going to say, please don't unsubscribe. It's going to get better.
Oh my God.
Good night, folks. Thanks very much for listening.
Rough week.
We'll see you next time. Good night.
Oh my gosh.